This is Jordan Butler, host of Head Over Heels. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Hi, everybody. This is Baxter Colburn from Public House Media. From all of us here at PHM, we'd like to thank you for your support and wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
This is Daniel Poppy, host of How to Write Good here on Public House Media. I just want to thank you for listening to the following broadcast brought to you by Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope that you'll come check out my show, How to Write Good, the writing show that is not about writing. A new show of How to Write Good comes out every Wednesday, so don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of How to Write Good. Again, thanks for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
It's time for the Gregg and Dave Show.
I'm justifiably in a position that I'd rather not be in.
Featuring Greg Watsteiner.
Give me Twinkies or give me death.
And David Bobke.
I am the cream, yes.
Bravely bringing you the stories of the strange.
Going off on a madcap romp.
It'll be an adventure. We're going on an adventure.
Wait,
Now sit back and enjoy the show.
That is my least favorite thing to do.
You are listening to the Gregg and Dave Show on Public House Media. I am the Gregg.
And I am Dave Show. Are we doing the NPR version of our show today, Greg?
We might be Dave Show.
That's terrific.
Yes. Can we use that moniker on thephmedia.com? I'm not sure.
I think we can get away with using it because they don't have any money to sue us with.
Right, exactly.
We're not saying anything bad about them. In fact, I enjoy listening to NPR, especially on the weekends.
Right. We do want to thank Public House Media for hosting our wonderful radio show, wonderful podcast that we do every week. We bring it to you. We bring you the news of the day, or maybe not so much. Right, Dave Show?
That's right. And in today's case, I think it's the news of the season.
The news of the season. 'Tis the season. Fa la 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 la, Dave Show.
La la, might I add, la la.
You can add that la la. Dave Show, I feel like there are a lot of debates that people have. I feel like there's a lot of tension around the holiday season. Debates and tension like this. Should we get a real Christmas tree? Should we get an artificial Christmas tree? Get the regular eggnog? Or should we get the low-fat version of eggnog?
How is there a low-fat version of eggnog? I mean, if you're going to go for eggnog, just go for eggnog, man.
I don't know.
Pound that sucker down.
Yeah. So, one of the many debates over this time of the year, the holiday season, if you will, is what Christmas songs are the best and what Christmas songs are absolute earworms. The worst Christmas songs ever.
Indeed. Well, today being...
The worst Christmas songs ever. Sorry, I just had to say that again.
Well, today being the last show we have before Christmas, we do have to talk about some Christmas stories, and there's some interesting ones out there. And there was a story here from Philadelphia.cbslocal.com, Channel 3 in Philadelphia, if you're curious. And they were actually posting a story about how Christmas music can actually be harmful to your mental health.
What, Dave Show?
Yes, it can be hazardous to your mental health. And I could not agree more. For example, Greg, I have to ask you this question. When do you think it's appropriate to play Christmas music?
I think it's appropriate to play Christmas music a week before Thanksgiving. I'll rephrase that. I'll reword that. I think it's more appropriate to play Christmas music when it actually gets cold outside. So the first cold day of the year, and cold being under the 35-degree mark, I think that makes it appropriate to play Christmas music.
Interesting.
Now, I realize that in Wisconsin on Monday, it was 65, okay? 65, 68, something like that. That's still okay because the temperature's been 35. Do you like my theory? So the first cold day, because you're thinking cold, you're thinking, when it starts getting cold, you're thinking Christmas.
I hear you. Personally, I have a very limited window for Christmas music.
Okay.
For me, it's permissible to play on the radio in December. Anytime before that, and I will just banish your radio station from any radio that I have, which at this point is none. I don't have any functioning radios, as regular listeners probably already know. Not by choice.
So December 1st at midnight is okay.
Yes. Then it's okay. I personally like to listen to Christmas music maybe a couple of days before Christmas, through Christmas, maybe to even a day after Christmas. Maybe. And in early July.
I do have to say, though, that I have a Christmas music quota. I can listen to Christmas music for about 30 to 40 minutes, maybe an hour, before I have to turn it off and just de-Christmas music myself. So I do have a quota of how much I can listen to.
Okay, interesting.
Just because too much of a good thing can still be a good thing, but can also be a bad thing. Profound out of them.
I guess I can listen to Christmas music once I have permitted it into my life, once I have allowed it into my life and accepted it for what it is. I guess I'm pretty much okay with it. You know what? There's a few songs I'm cool with pretty much anytime. Christmas in Hollis by Run DMC can be played anytime. But I digress.
Okay.
Anyways, it says here, are you one of the people who can't stand hearing Christmas songs months before the holiday actually arrives? Yes. My hand is in the air. Mrs. Bale's hand is in the air. Thank you, Mrs. Bale. Does hearing festive carols weeks before Thanksgiving only make you upset that you haven't eaten your turkey yet? A psychologist in Great Britain says your reactions don't make you a Grinch because too much Christmas music is actually bad for your mental health. Clinical psychologist Linda Blair, I feel like that's not a name of somebody that I want to be trusting right there. Isn't that from The Exorcist?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's, well, anyway. She claims the constant barrage of Christmas tunes too early in the season forces people to remember all the things they have to do before the holiday. Blair says the songs are a reminder to buy presents, cater parties, organize travel, and all the more stressful chores during Christmas. Quote, you're simply spending all of your energy trying not to hear what you're hearing, Blair tells Sky News. I wonder if that's true for me. I guess, I don't know if it's necessarily that or something about there's just a particular time that these songs should be played. I don't know. You have any thoughts?
I think that one can get holiday music fatigue, like any kind of fatigue. You can get Taylor Swift fatigue. So any kind of music can get exhausting after a while. But yeah, I can see after hearing about sleigh bells ringing and, it's the most wonderful time of the year. Because truthfully in Wisconsin, I don't know, Christmas and winter may not be the most wonderful time of the year for a lot of people. Especially because it's cold.
Now, I'm curious, Gregg, have you ever had Taylor Swift fatigue? Because this is news to me.
Yes, I have.
Wow. Yes. I did not know that.
Not her older stuff, but definitely her newer stuff exhausts me a little bit.
Interesting.
She sold out. Anyway.
That's some cough you have there, Gregg.
Yeah, that is some cough, yeah. All the parties for hosting, marshmallows for roasting. Who roasts marshmallows around Christmas time? That's what I want to know.
And why haven't they invited us over?
Right.
I want roasted marshmallows. I'm down with that.
Me too. Now I'm hungry.
Yeah, me too. Anyways, story continues on here. Christmas music is likely to irritate people if it's played too loudly and too early. The psychologist added that store workers are most at risk for being worn down by the catchy beats.
I can imagine that. I can believe that.
Yes, she states, hearing the same songs over and over each day make workers struggle to tune it out and they become, quote, unable to focus on anything else. Amen to that.
Yes. Dave, as an advocate for people's mental health, which I am, I think it's important to know your limits, know your boundaries, know when enough is enough, Try to avoid those situations, whether that means maybe not working in retail or not going to stores. Heck, do your shopping all on Amazon.
There you go.
Now, that's not a plug for Amazon right there, but it is maybe
kind of
a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I wonder about the mental health of people who listen to this show, Gregg.
Yeah, I often wonder about that too.
Yeah.
I sometimes wonder about the mental health of the hosts of this show.
Oh, I wonder that constantly. I mean,
Yeah.
at least until the other voices drown it out, but, you know.
Right, right.
We should move on to our next story, because it's kind of tied in. We talk about Christmas music maybe being hazardous to one's health.
Is it tied in with a Christmas bow?
It's tied with a Christmas bow to it, and you touched on it earlier. The 5 worst Christmas songs of all time, according to MercuryNews.com.
Can I just say, I looked at these pre-show. I don't agree with all of these. Some of them I do. Some of them I believe are just horrible Christmas songs, but I don't agree with all of their choices here. So, and I have some of my own to add. So, but Dave Show, go ahead. According to this article, what are the 5 worst Christmas songs?
Well, it says here, having to listen to some really bad Christmas tunes played over and over is a downside to the most wonderful time of the time, which I don't think is what they meant to put in the article, but that's what they put.
Right.
They love the good stuff. They do stress that. Nat King Cole singing "O Little Town of Bethlehem." Fantastic. Plenty of good ones out there. The following are their picks for 5 worst Christmas songs of all time, and we can certainly share ours, The Gregg. And this may turn into our first ever segment that I like to call Let's Get Mad at Gregg and Dave.
Ooh, let's get mad at Gregg and Dave.
This is pretty much where potentially people will get irate with us for our hatred of certain songs or our love of other songs that are maybe less popular, but we sort of have a soft, fuzzy spot for.
Right, right.
So here we go. Top 5 worst Christmas songs. These are not necessarily in order. It's just the 5 that they have at MercuryNews.com. First one on the list by Lou Monte, Dominic the Christmas Donkey. Admittedly, I am not very familiar with this one, so have you heard this one, Gregg?
I have, and I thought you were the one that told me about this song, that I needed to listen to it. I guess I was wrong.
Yeah, I don't recall ever hearing this one. Maybe it's one that I've just blocked out of my memory, but I do not recall this one.
But yes, I am familiar with this song, and I will say the hee-haw, hee-haw is very annoying.
Interesting. This song apparently from 1960, by the way. It also says, raise your hand if you have ever tried to make the donkey noise.
Which I just did.
Good job, the Gregg.
I'm raising my hand right now.
Mrs. Bale, you're raising your hand too. Oh, you're so silly. All right. Second on their list, All I Want for Christmas is My 2 Front Teeth.
Yes, I'd agree with that.
I think this would probably be in my top 10. I'm not sure if it would be in my top 5. But yeah, I'd be okay if we went a couple seasons at least without hearing this one. Legend is that the song was written by grade school teacher Donald Yetter Gardner. A bunch of kids in his class wearing missing teeth and speaking with lisps.
So was he making fun of the children by writing the song? Or was he wishing for them that they'd have their 2 front teeth?
If this is correct here, in that a bunch of kids were wearing missing teeth, I guess they'd be wearing little sort of mouthpieces where they look like they're missing sort of gag teeth. In which case, I guess you could be making fun of them, and that would be okay.
Right,
right. So there's that. So yeah, I'm not sure how exactly he came up with that song, but I kind of wish he hadn't. Third on the list of 5 worst Christmas songs of all time. First of all, I hate to say I'm not shocked by this, but Bruce Springsteen is on the list. The Boss is on this list.
I just played a Bruce Springsteen song on one of my other radio shows that I have at a college radio station. I played a Bruce Springsteen song this morning.
And which one was that, the Gregg?
Would have been Pink Cadillac.
Pink Cadillac, interesting. Okay, I think I have heard him do that one. Actually, I have to admit, the song that I thought was going to be on this list by Springsteen, not the song they went with. And it's Santa Claus is Coming to Town that they put on here. They said they don't have any issues with the song generally, but they can't stand the overly robust Springsteen version, and they don't know why people like it.
I just think it's overplayed on the radio. Like everything, though. Everything is overplayed on the radio.
Yeah.
I can say that because I'm a radio DJ.
There you go.
I probably overplay stuff, too.
Yeah, I just don't get it. Springsteen and Christmas just don't quite mix for me. There's probably certain songs I would be totally cool with, but something about that voice singing a nice, jolly song just doesn't work for me. Springsteen and jolly do not mix. There is not a Venn diagram that has those two meshing together.
His record label was like, write us a Christmas song.
They drove a truck full of money up to his house, and the rest is history. Number 4, I have to tell you right now, I mentioned My Dear, Wonderful, Lovely Mother a show or two ago. If I remember correctly, this is actually one of her favorite Christmas songs.
Okay.
And I have mixed feelings about it myself, because part of me is cool with it, and part of me really does not want to hear it. And it is Santa Baby by Eartha Kitt.
Yep.
Is that on your list, the Greg?
That would be on my list, definitely. I could go without hearing that song ever in my life. I could go to the grave without hearing that ever again.
I could too, honestly.
I will go out of my way, in fact, not to listen to that song. I will change station.
I don't know, if I hear it on the radio, I might leave it, I might not. I don't know, just something about the mood I'm in, I guess. The website here says the delivery might be sexy, but the lyrics celebrate pure greed. Asking Santa for a convertible, a yacht, and the deed to a platinum mine. I missed that somehow. I haven't really paid attention to the lyrics, I guess, outside of Santa Baby, and the rest is just a complete blur to me. Maybe that's why I don't hate this song.
Right.
There we go. Number 5 on the list. Another one I'm not familiar with, but it's a John Denver song.
I wasn't familiar with this one either.
Yes, John Denver's Please Daddy Don't Get Drunk This Christmas. Okay, just the name alone, I'm inclined to say that this one should be on the top 5, or bottom 5, I suppose, list. It says, want to ruin the mood at a family dinner party? Just crank up this John Denver tune during the appetizers.
Now, one that didn't make the list, but they actually did mention it in the article as like these authors couldn't put it on the list. But Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer. How annoying is that song? I mean, the first time I heard it, maybe the second time I heard it, maybe third time I heard it, thought it was funny. But after a while, it just lost its luster for me.
There we go. That's another one where I think my mom would fight you on that one.
Yeah, she's a grandma reindeer like her.
Yeah, pretty much.
Who sang that song originally? Was that? It sounds like Willie Nelson, but I know it's.
I want to say the guy's name is Billy Bob, but I can't honestly recall at the moment.
If you know that, put it in the comments at the Gregg and Dave Show Facebook page.
Yeah, we'd appreciate that. And let us know what your least favorite Christmas songs are. Real quickly, the Greg, I'm curious, what are some of your favorite Christmas songs?
Some of my favorite Christmas songs, I have to say, even though this song makes me tear up every time, The Christmas Shoes by New Song. It's a newer song by the band New Song. And that song makes me kind of tear up. Let's see. Actually, you told me about some songs. One of them I played on the radio today, on my radio show at Carroll University's radio station, WCCX, The 12 Pains of Christmas. Are you familiar with this little ditty, Dave Show?
I was listening actually to the show, and I'm not sure if I've heard that one before. I feel like I might have heard it at some point, but yeah, not too familiar with that one.
Right. But traditional, probably Jingle Bells, I do like the Mariah Carey, All I Want for Christmas Is You, Baby. So, what about you, Dave Show?
Me, as far as one of the songs that I have to admit I actually hate, would probably be number 1 on my list for least favorite Christmas songs. This is going to make you sad. I'm telling you right now. You might want to plug your ears for this. It's actually Christmas Shoes.
Oh, really?
I cannot listen to that full song. I feel like I am going to get diabetes 4 times if I listen to the full thing. So that's where, again, feel free to hate me for that one. Dave Show.
Right.
That's all right. I can take it. Few of my favorites, though. Oh, you mentioned Bob Rivers before the show.
Yes.
You like his stuff? I Am Santa Claus?
Yes.
That's a good one. I also like Patrick Swayze Christmas from the gang at Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Okay.
I enjoy that quite a bit. Run DMC's Christmas in Hollis, I mentioned. Saturday Night Live's I Wish It Was Christmas Today. Always a fun little tune. There's another song from a group called Bad News called Cashing In on Christmas, which I enjoy. If you like Spinal Tap, you'll probably like Bad News.
Right.
Probably my favorite one, though, is Bing Crosby's classic, I'm Dreaming of a White Christmas. It doesn't feel like Christmas without that song.
Right. You know what else it doesn't feel like Christmas without, Dave Show?
I'm going to guess a commercial. But
A commercial.
Is that right?
Yes.
Yes!
Yes.
Success music, Mrs. Bale. Play the victory music now.
Oh, good for you.
That's not the victory music. That's we. What do you mean we don't have one? That's 2 weeks. No, okay, never mind. Commercials.
Okay, commercials. Okay.
We have
Mistakes have been made today, but this is not one of them.
Yeah, I'm in the wrong here. I suck.
You're listening to the Gregg and Dave Show.
Dave Show here once again with the Gregg. Hi, Gregg.
The Gregg.
It's time once again for us to do our commercial for something on Public House Media, some show that we enjoy, or at least one of us, tolerates, if not actually listens to. And I'm happy to say that I have been catching Coffee with Keith and Katie Tuesdays and Fridays on Public House Media. A delightful little show with Keith and Katie, a lovely couple.
Went to school with both of them.
Did you really?
Yes.
I knew you knew Keith.
Carroll University. Proud graduates.
Well, by golly, there you go. It's a nice little show. It's about a half hour or so. And it's just fun.
Yes. So check it out right here on Public House Media and wherever good podcasts are found. iTunes, Stitcher, and of course, thephmedia.com.
100% of the Gregg and Dave Show crew approves of this message.
That fine piece of music you were just listening to was Lobby Time by Kevin MacLeod at Incompetech.com. Give him a visit, won't you? Thank you. And now, back to the Gregg and Dave Show.
Nobody does it better.
And admit that you have a problem. Yay!
We're back, and I am the Gregg.
I'm Dave Show.
Dave, you know what might be the worst Christmas song to sing ever when you're doing Christmas carols with friends? Just because there's so much to it and of how it builds up and how it's exhausting to sing, quite honestly.
It's probably the one that I was just singing during the break.
Right, the 12 Days of Christmas.
Indeed. And the 12 Days of Christmas, let's be honest, not exactly practical gifts in this day and age.
Right.
But courtesy of the CharlotteObserver.com, we know exactly how much that would cost. To be clear, I think everybody's familiar with the 12 Days of Christmas as a general idea, as a song.
Right.
But just to cover our bases here, the 12 Days of Christmas, all of the gifts include 12 drummers drumming, 11 pipers piping, 10 lords a-leaping, which seems like that would be the priciest thing for me. I don't know how much it costs to rent a lord, but,
Right.
9 ladies dancing. Doesn't say if they're any good or not. 8 maids a-milking. 7 swans a-swimming. 6 geese a-laying. So you got to get them all laying eggs at the same time, I guess.
Right.
5 gold rings. 4 calling birds. We'd be more likely to have calling cards, I guess, at this point, but never mind. 3 French hens. 2 turtle doves. And 1 partridge in a pear tree, which is really 2 parts of one gift, but it's really 2 gifts, I guess. The pear tree would have been enough. We don't need the partridge.
I have a question. What is a French hen? Can you clarify that for me?
I believe that's a hen that hails from Basse Normandy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome for that very accurate piece of information. So we know that that's a lot of stuff. It's way, way overboard. My goodness, don't buy all these things for a person unless they've specifically requested it. But the question remains, how much would this all cost?
Yes.
And thankfully, the Charlotte Observer's Cassie Cope has solved that for us.
Thankfully.
Yes, the cost for all of the gifts listed in the song for the year 2017, the cost would be $34,558.65.
Now, does that surprise you, Dave Show? That seems low to me.
I thought that seemed a bit high, but I guess I would need some details on some of the stuff. Again, like the Lords a-leaping, I would have thought if you're going to get proper lords to actually come down and leap in the air.
Right.
It seems like that'd be a pretty major expense.
Mm-hmm.
There's that issue. Here's some things that you could get for that price in case you're more interested, the Gregg, in spending your money elseways. For that price in Charlotte, you could pay for a year's rent for a 1-bedroom at Museum Tower.
Okay.
Sounds like a nice place. You could get 7 top-level Carolina Panthers season tickets.
There you go.
There you are. Or 86 of the $400 cocktail drinks at the Punch Room. This year's cost of the gifts in the 12 Days of Christmas song rose by about $200 or 0.6% over last year, according to the PNC Christmas Price Index. It was actually thought to be going up about 2.2%, I guess, in September, and the price actually came back down a little bit. So there we go.
Right, there we go.
Yes, would you care to guess what the most expensive of those items is, the Greg?
I'm going to say the 5 golden rings, because gold rings can be very expensive. I'm going to venture a guess that would be the most expensive.
5 gold rings, $825, apparently, for the 5 gold rings.
Oh, wow.
Almost, basically, all of these pale in comparison to the one that's number one on the list. It would be 7 swans a-swimming, priced at $13,125. That's insanity.
Swans are valuable creatures, I guess.
Yeah, that's just craziness. Second place was 9 ladies dancing, priced at about $7,500 roughly. Also, by the way, if you are going to get the 12 Days of Christmas for somebody, online shoppers beware. If you get this stuff on the internet, the price jumps to $45,096 because of travel and shipping costs.
Okay, of course it does.
So now you know.
There's free shipping, though, on every episode of The Gregg and Dave Show.
Oh, that was a good segue.
Because technically you get it online. It's totally free. And no, folks, we do want to wish you a very happy holiday season, whatever you celebrate, whether it be Festivus, Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, leap year, New Year. Maybe you're still eating turkey from Thanksgiving.
Turkey.
But whatever you celebrate it well. And Merry Christmas to you guys. Please give us a Christmas present and like, comment, and share this podcast, which you can find at thephmedia.com. And Dave Show, where else?
We're on Anchor FM, I believe, now.
Are we?
Yeah, I can't think of everywhere else. iHeartRadio and places like that.
Yeah, iTunes. Yep, Google Play.
Mrs. Bale, where else? Can you make me a big sign that has all of this stuff on it so I don't have to remember it on my own? No? Okay. Well, I know somebody's getting a lump of coal in her stocking this year.
Yeah. Well, Dave Show, you go off and find that lump of coal for Mrs. Bale. And we'll see you guys next time on The Gregg and Dave Show. I am the Greg.
And I am Dave Show, and that's Mrs. Bale.
Yes.
Are you just grumpy because we left you out of the title of the show? Is that it? Should it be The Gregg and Dave Show with Mrs. Bale? Oh, featuring Mrs. Bale, excuse me.
You've been listening to The Gregg and Dave Show. The Gregg and Dave Show theme is Take a Chance by Kevin MacLeod of Incompetech.com.